Today, we're diving into user story mapping by Jeff Patton. It's this amazing technique for, actually building products that people want to use. We're going to figure out how to stop building software monsters and instead focus on telling the whole story from the get-go.
You cannot create life by sewing together random body parts. Now, that's a quote from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but wow, does it hit close to home when we think about product development. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
So, why do we try to build software this way, right? We get this big long list of features, a backlog, and we just start stitching them together, one by one, kind of hoping that a great product will magically appear at the end. But what usually happens? We end up with a Frankenstein's monster, this clumsy, confusing thing that just doesn't work right.
And this is exactly what the book calls the Frankenstein problem. And the crazy part is, it happens even when you've got stacks and stacks of detailed documentation. Because the real issue isn't a lack of information, it's a breakdown in communication. This isn't a technical problem at all, it's a human one.
Think about it. Written instructions are just so easy to get wrong. I mean, you've got hilarious examples like Cake Rex, where a baker writes "Happy Birthday" in blue, literally on the cake. Funny, but then you have the not-so-funny stuff. NASA lost a $125 million Mars orbiter because one team used metric and the other used imperial units. All that from a simple miscommunication. So the lesson here is pretty clear. Documents alone just aren't going to cut it.
So the real problem isn't that our documents are bad. It's that we're all chasing the wrong thing. We don't need another 100-page spec doc. What we really need, is a shared understanding. We need to get to a place where everyone, the developer, the designer, the marketer, all have the exact same picture in their head of what we're building and why.
Okay, so if more documents aren't the solution, what is? Well, it starts with a really big shift in how we think about our work. It's about starting to chase outcomes, not just outputs. And this is such a critical difference. See, an output is the thing we make. It's the code, the feature, the button. But an outcome, that's the change we create in the world. It's not about shipping a new feature. It's about what people can do differently because of that feature. How does it actually make their lives better? That's the prize.
And this quote just nails it. Your company can't get what it wants unless your customers and users get something they want. It clicks, right? The business doesn't make more money unless we solve a real problem for our customers. When you focus on creating those positive user outcomes, the business impact, that just naturally follows. It's a total win-win.
So, how do we actually do this? How do we get everyone focused on outcomes and build that shared understanding we were talking about? Well, this is where we get to the heart of the book. Mapping the whole story. It's a way to see the entire user's journey, visually, together as a team.
Now, story mapping might sound a little complicated, but honestly, it's super intuitive. I bet we can figure it out right now. Let's just do a quick thought exercise. What if we were to map out your morning routine? It's the perfect, simple way to see how this works.
Okay, so imagine a bunch of sticky notes. Step 1, you just write down everything you do. Wake up, hit the snooze button, check your phone, brush your teeth, you get the idea. Step 2, you'd arrange all those stickies in order, left to right, to tell the story of your morning. And then step 3, and this is cool, you slice it for different goals. Like, what's the "I have 5 minutes to get out the door" version of your morning? You'd grab just the absolute essentials, right?
And that's really the core of a story map. It organizes all those little tasks along what we call a backbone. And that backbone tells the user's whole story, from the very beginning to the very end. It gives everyone that big picture view that is so easy to lose when you're just looking at a long list of features.
But here's the thing. A story map is way more than just a pretty picture of the work. It's a powerful tool for strategy. It forces you to have the right conversations so you can build less and, as a result, learn more faster.
This idea is so important. Your job is not to build more, it's to build less. It sounds backwards, but it's the key. The real goal is to find the smallest, simplest thing you can build that will still achieve that big outcome you're aiming for. Minimal effort, maximum impact. Think about it like this. You have the bricklayer, who lays each brick perfectly, one after the other. But they don't see if the whole wall was crooked until the very end. Then you have the artist. What do? They sketch out the whole picture first, a rough outline, to make sure the composition works. Then they go back and fill in the details. We need to be building software like the artist, not the bricklayer. Here's another great way to think about it. Instead of spending months building a giant, perfect wedding cake one layer at a time, and nobody gets to taste it until it's done,
What if you baked a bunch of small, testable cupcakes first? Each cupcake is a whole, tiny cake. You can get feedback right away on the frosting, the flavor, everything. You learn so much faster by delivering value in small, complete slices.
So we've covered maps and outcomes and even cupcakes, but all of this is leading to the most important point of all. It always comes back to the people. It's about the power of conversation. Because, you see, the map itself, that's not really the point. To really get this, we have to look at the 3 C's of a user story. This idea comes from Ron Jeffries. A story isn't just the card, the sticky note or the ticket in your system. It's also the conversation about that card, where we hash out the details. And it's the confirmation, which is how we agree on what done looks like. The physical card is just where it all starts.
And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway of all. The card is just an invitation to a conversation. That story map, the sticky notes on the wall, the tickets in Jira, all of that stuff is basically worthless if you don't have the rich, deep discussions around it. The shared understanding isn't in the document, it's built through the conversation. That's where the magic really is.
So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your own team. The next time you're staring at a roadmap or a long backlog of work, just stop and ask yourself, what's the most important conversation that we aren't having right now?